All right, welcome back to UKSG Green 2023. This event, we're raising money for Crisis. You can donate with the links below the stream. We would also like to shout out ESA and BSG for their continued support. And now, as we enter the wee hours of the early morning, it is time for Metal Gear Solid 3, very easy, any percent. So, the other Scott, with Apache on commentary, good luck and take it away.
Thank you. How you doing, guys? Welcome to the night shift. I want to start off straight away by thanking Apache for being here.
After the end of World War II, the
And
world was
probably
split
going to fill up a
into
lot of the silence. This is
east
my
and
first
west.
ever event,
This marked the beginning
so
of the era
should be
called
good.
the Cold War.
Time will be ready once we get the thingy. 3, 2, 1, go.
No worries, thanks for having me here, by the way, mate.
No,
Appreciate it.
no. So, first off, we've got a wee sort of what we would probably class as a prologue to everything that's going to happen just shortly. Some of this will become very familiar in about, 8 minutes?
Yeah.
Give or take. I will need the camo incentive if possible, what the final verdict on that was.
I think Paulister fell asleep, so I can tell you that the camo incentive was rainbow with $60.
Perfect. That was the one I was vouching for myself personally.
My apologies.
So we'll fling that on now. There'll be a couple of times within this run that we will be looking at. We will be looking at getting this back on rainbow, and just because it is UKSG green, we may as well fling on the green camo in the face as well. In the grand scheme of things, does it make a massive difference to this run? We are playing on the very easy category, which you'll see shortly. Gives us a weapon called the Easy Gun, which as well as a couple of other big benefits. Main thing is 80% camo index. How you do it in European Extreme, I will never know. Well, I
And
will.
also the regenerating stamina. Regenerates your stamina while you
Yep.
get it equipped, which we do actually use a hell of a lot in this run.
Yep. A little bit short on that, but it's fine. So you'll notice for the first sort of half of the run, anytime we get any inclines, I'll be rolling up them. It is faster, same as rolling into your sort of different areas. Once we get the box, though, that changes slightly. A little bit more interesting, a little bit funnier. Because apparently being inside boxes means you can run up hills faster. Who knew? So we trank the first guard and then we run up a wee bit closer. This just means that when I do trank him, I don't have to crawl over his body. And this guard, one of the best guards you'll ever get. He's fine.
Yeah, so in VE, it's one trank to knock out any guard, one roll will knock them out as well. So this category really comes down to like the optimizers trying to find every little bit of time save across the run. It's like when you're given everything, what can you do to save time? So the boss fights are lightning quick because they've been optimized over the last few years. Taking the lit here doesn't matter. It's going to clear off in the next room anyway, but it's very important in the next room that we don't take an alert, because taking the lit in the next room will prevent us from meeting Sokolov and continuing the mission.
On top of that as well, I have recently changed my sort of routing to that. Beforehand, you would try and either keep the alert throughout the room or clear it entirely. Within this marathon, obviously, when I was doing RTA, you can actually get a really long load time there, losing you about 12 seconds, I believe it is.
There's an Xbox only glitch where if the evasion status changes during a load screen, the game just doesn't know what to do and it'll just freeze on a black screen for like 12 seconds. So only on the Xbox version. We are playing on the Series X and we're playing in the backwards compatibility mode. So HD Collection did come out on the Xbox 360, and I wouldn't recommend anyone plays it because the load times are horrendous. But on the Series S and X, the game will stay at 60 FPS throughout, whereas it does slow down on all of the versions. So the Xbox, as soon as the backwards compatibility sort of was released for the Series S and X, it's sort of become the standard way to play for a lot of people now.
Yeah. Out with recently, since we've opened the EMU boards, but it was very thankful for one of the recent races between Apache and Vermilion when they said about this being the fastest console, because I was very lucky to have both the console and the game, because it's very impossible to buy at this point.
Yeah, it's no longer. It's not currently on the stores, although Konami says that they're working to get it back as soon as possible. You cannot actually purchase this game, so if you don't already own it, tough.
It's a very unfortunate fact. I will very quickly get the green face paint back on, and the rainbow. Don't want to be getting into any rooms that I don't have to without that. So this has been, what, a couple of days later now. You've miraculously healed all your broken injuries that we just had like 30 seconds ago. And we're back at the same places. So it's
Yeah, we're
almost like we've done this before.
Sent back in for another mission, a slightly longer one this time. So at this stage of the game, you actually get your gun taken off you. It happens in a cutscene. It's destroyed in front of you, so you lose your weapon. But on VE, that doesn't matter because we have the easy gun. The boss didn't find that on us, and this is a beautiful weapon. It's actually my my badge on Twitch is the easy gun.
Nice. Mine's are still generic. Oh, now we're coming on to, I said earlier that the guard before was the best guard. I definitely think this guard deserves a promotion, right?
This is my favourite guard. If you want to explain to someone how good the easy gun is, this pretty much sums it up. It's
There's
even
nobody
funnier when
here.
he's wearing the rainbow camo.
I'm going to use my psychic powers, there's nobody here.
So yeah,
See?
it reduces, obviously the higher your camo index, which is the number in the top right, means the harder it is for guards to spot you. They have a vision cone, and the higher your camo kind of reduces where they'll see you in that. With 80% camo, you're pretty stealthy. You are pretty stealthy.
We'll see later on that we can actually sometimes run into guards, and it makes no difference. But that's what makes this category this for me, very user friendly at the start, but also very high skill at the end, because all the bosses, as you'll see just shortly, if I can manage to pull them off nicely, that is, are all very, very tight.
Yeah, the thing that gets runners obsessed with this is just the skill floor is very low, but the skill ceiling is very high, and the top times are extremely competitive. This is the first boss, the Ocelot unit. There's 7 guards that we have to take out, and recently there's some ridiculous like IL strategies coming out for this fight. But basically, what you want to do is take out the first 2 and get them all as many grouped as possible outside.
Oh, we have.
And there's always one that sneaks off. This happens at marathon. Like, they know it's a marathon and they just sneak
Obviously.
off and hide.
Where's he went? Where are you?
Yeah, behind
There.
the factory. So there's always one that sneaks off. What you're trying to do is like take them out like bowling pins with the stun grenade, but without a doubt, whenever you play this at marathon, one will sneak off.
I know we say this all the time. That didn't happen in practice. Who'd have guessed? But the new IL strat that they're starting to try is just far too dangerous for an actual marathon run. I think we can both agree on that one.
There's definitely an obsession with people who run the Metal Gear games about optimizing absolutely every little thing, and bosses, people will reset for hours for a ridiculous strat on a boss just to get like the fastest boss IL. But yeah, absolutely not marathon safe.
Now, we're going to get our run pet just round about now as well. Every single VE run, we get a nice little leech that will latch onto us, and they'll stay there pretty much the entire run.
Yeah, there's actually a special rank in the game for finishing the game with the leech attached, and all VE speedruns will get the leech rank.
Unless you've been really bad, in which case you get the flying swallow.
Yeah. So curing it only takes about 6 seconds, but in a category like this, we are trying to bleed every single second we can out of the run. So if that means we take all the menus out and run around with a leech attached, and so be it. The leech drains your stamina over time, so these are going to obviously circumvent that. And if your stamina goes below half, your aim will like visibly shake. It makes it like impossible to hit stuff. So
Now, we had Apache obviously talking to his RE2 run about when Mr. X decides that he's going to do something that you're not expecting, and he absolutely jumps out of his skin. There are many times where I have electrocuted myself against these fences and near enough thrown the controller out my hand. Didn't realise they had that technology back then, but yep. It loses you 7 seconds, I believe. I have done it many a time, but I still never got over the fright that I get every time.
There's a great interaction if you cause a game over at the same time you get electrocuted. Snake just gets electrocuted permanently, and the sound starts overlaying. If you leave it on, it'll just crash your console. And you can learn cool facts like that when you speedrun this game.
So we're coming up to the first proper boss with a boss health bar now. For me personally, this is infamous. Sometimes it can go great. His head hitbox is a bit strange at points. So we'll quick shoot him once. Oh, I have. Thank you, game. Throw a stun, quick shoot again, turn, and this looks quite favourable actually. Nope.
Missed the headshot.
Yep.
Unlucky. So yeah, one headshot would have taken him out now, and now we're just in a backup. Sort of wait for him to run past. Generally, you want to just use the auto aim while he's running around because the game will lock on in third person, but it won't lock on in first person. So there's certain bosses you can hit with auto aim, and there's certain ones you can't. If you're wondering what Scott's doing, he's like trying to see the screen because the brightness is left and up.
Left and up. I'm glad you can see because I cannot.
And then to the right, yeah.
Yep,
to the right.
Right, I can see it.
Yeah,
There we go.
All good. It's really dark on this screen. So he actually lit the cigar there. That gives you a little bit of source of light. Inside the game, if you speak to on the radio, they'll tell you that your eyes will adjust to the darkness, and what the game actually does is it slowly turns up the brightness the longer you spend in this room. But it's a speed run, we don't have time for that, so we're going to get out of here.
And personally, I have probably one of the brightest screens I could possibly get for this. We have turned the brightness up full. We decided that, and it looked fine, and then we get here, and my eyesight has decided to fail me.
It's significantly the dark bottom of the game.
Upside is, when we go into the next room, Snake's eyes will already be adjusted, so we should be a bit better. Until then, I am going off of feeling alone here. We are there.
Yeah, you're all good.
There we go.
The next room's like a normal pitch again.
In the meantime, do we have a moment for one quick donation that came in?
We absolutely do.
All right. Well, I think you might recognize this one. It's $60 from Zero Kieran saying, "For that pool game, GG, and good luck, have fun with MGS3." And that's going towards the Pizza Tower category upgrade to True Ending incentive, which is currently at $220 out of $300, so we're $80 away, which is really not that far off. So keep those donations coming, folks. Back to you, folks.
That's phase 1 of the Pain. The Pain is an infamous fight. You can actually skip the Pain in Metal Gear Solid as long as you have 2 fake death pills, so on everything below extreme. But it's actually faster to fight him on everything other than hard because of how quickly we can take him out. So the skip requires a ton of setup. So it's funny that someone actually found a skip for a boss fight on HD Collection, and we just don't use it because it's too slow.
No, Apache did try and convince me to learn that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's really hard to do. It's like you have to stand on 2 pixel perfect spots to do it. But yeah, so you just take him out.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, the benefit on everything below extreme is like you can get away with body shots on the Pain. The body shots on the Pain are like quite easy to do, but his head hitbox is minuscule. It's way less than his head. It's like 2 pixels, and they move depending on how good your run is.
To add into that as well, I have slightly aging hands at this point, so you'll notice there's a couple of times where we do the sort of quick reload fire as much as we can. Sometimes you'll get that perfectly, other times you will completely lose your rhythm.
Yeah, it's not just that, but in the Xbox, only in the Xbox version, there's actually kind of a glitch where whenever you tactical reload, Snake will sometimes lower his weapon.
Yes.
We don't know what causes it, and we've tried to replicate it. It just seems like a bug specific to this version, which is, you know, quite annoying.
Rather. Now we've just got a long sort of swimming section here, and then we'll start to see our, not even next boss, but the first glimpse of a future boss. One that's very legendary thanks to Apache's amazing comms, which I'm pretty sure we'll get to a wee bit later.
I have no doubt.
You have no doubt.
So yeah, we're just going to burn off our health here. Like, we don't care about health. It's
Who
fine.
needs it?
No, once you run out of oxygen, just use your health in place of it. And that means we don't have to waste 3 seconds by standing up out of the water. And yeah, equip the M1911. We're going to want to shoot a barrel. You can't shoot it too quickly. We do want to deal some damage to the boss here. This little bit of damage we do here is really important because when we fight him later, some of his health and stamina will be gone because you shot the barrel. You can shoot him early. You can kill that boss, but in order to do so, you have to go and get the SVD. He can only be killed with the SVD sniper rifle, and the amount of time it takes to get the SVD actually puts you in the red when compared to just fighting him normally, and that's the same on all difficulties as well. So that's like a testament to how fast we can actually beat him. Now, I'll explain that boss fight later, but we actually pick up the box here, so you can pick it up earlier.
Item.
Yeah, oh yeah, box is without a doubt the most powerful item in the game. We pick it up here, but we don't menu it because we're going to have to do a menu later, and we want to cut down going into the pause as much as possible because it takes about 7 seconds every time you press pause. We're just going to equip the box later.
Now, I don't know if anyone noticed, but we intentionally get spotted back in that part with the end, because if we don't, we run into some nice shield guards and things can go pretty badly.
Yeah, you just get knocked over. Like everything, it's like when things are a danger, it's a danger of losing time. Getting knocked down, lose 5 seconds, so we can't have that.
So instead, we decide to take the intentional alert to try and postpone the way that things are going, just to try and save that wee bit of time.
Yeah, they won't send the backup until the radio call's finished. So if you do things to like interrupt the alert radio call, it'll delay the backup team and prevent you from getting smashed in the face by them.
And then we go.
And we're going into the lab here. We do disguiseless lab. We pretty much do disguiseless lab on everything but European Extreme. It's only because on Euro to do disguiseless lab just takes so much longer. It's worth the pause to change camo, but it's not worth it here. Getting an alert anywhere in the lab before we meet, I was going to say Sokolov, Granin, it's 4 AM. What are all these people called? We're going to meet Granin, and if you have an alert before you meet him, it won't let you progress. So it's very important that we don't pick up an alert here. There's plenty of places where we can pick them up, and we do use that to our advantage, but this is just not one of them. Now let's see if the scientist can spot a man in a multicolored uniform running around past them.
I see no problem. I see no problem. Now there'll be a slight difference to my normal route coming up here because we are doing obviously RTA. I have a little item that I need to pick up, which we'll get on the way back out.
Yeah, we can get an alert now. It's absolutely fine. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop us progressing. Basically, that's all it comes down to. If the alert is going to stop us from progressing, then we won't pick one up. Otherwise, we're free to take one. And it's pretty common that you'll get one picking up this handkerchief because it's super awkward scientist there. For some reason, there's various areas in the game where the lock-on just doesn't quite work right, and that scientist is one of them. So you
I managed to avoid it this time.
Yeah, you just grab your handkerchief. That's going to be super important later for one of the funniest strats that has ever been made in this game. I absolutely love it, so I'm quite excited. And if
We'll
there's
just
any
not
cards
come over, and then the most unfortunate timing in the world. Sorry, pal. Sometimes when you gotta go, you just gotta go.
I like it when you get a load stacked up and you push the door open and they all go flying.
Now I think we're coming up to probably what I would class as, oh, I never meant to switch camera there. Probably what I'd class as one of the coolest finds that you did in this game. With the fear, for sure.
Yeah, next boss is the fear. I'll start explaining it now just because it's happened super quick. So there's a weird interaction with the fear. If you stun the fear on the ground, any damage he takes is converted into stamina damage, and for some reason he just doesn't get iframes. Normally when you damage a boss a few times, they'll get some iframes and then they'll get a chance to recover. The fear stunned on the ground does not. So at the start of the fight, we'll just chuck a stun grenade on the floor, and if you're fast enough and the timing is quite tight, you can do enough damage with the M1911 while he's stunned to take all of his stamina out. It requires a tactical reload, and the timing is quite specific on it. So as soon as the fear walks forward, we revive, and that means he won't just run off and gives us time to get the stun grenade off. And we'll throw it to the left just so we don't get stunned by it as well. Or not as much, I guess. Yeah, just enough, just enough. You probably have like one or two more shots before he got out of the iframes. We went for a ton of iterations with this on VE. We were getting the AK at one point. We were doing the Euro strat at one point. But eventually, I think it was Major Zero, the player, not the speedrunner, found that you can do it with the pistol as long as you're fast enough.
Now, I'm going to try a strat that I still haven't really got down yet, but know what? We're at a marathon, we may as well try it. There we go.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Weird glitch that Appel found. I think we all, it doesn't really save that much time, but I think we all just do it because we just love the way it looks.
I think it maybe saves a second if you're lucky,
yeah.
but if you mess it up, you've just lost 2. But it looks cool, and we may as well.
Yeah, shout out to Appel, he's found like so many glitches for this game. Basically, if you hear about a glitch in this game, it was probably him who found it. And this next part's the end. It's not the end of the run, it's a boss called the end. There's also a boss called the boss, but that's not this boss. That boss is at the end.
And that's a bit of commentary I needed tonight.
Oh, my brain.
Somehow I'm getting a sense of deja vu here.
And if anyone's like, you know, if you've not played, if you know someone who's not played Metal Gear before, just explain it to them like that.
That's all they need to know.
It's one of my favorite interactions with the Easy Gun. So because the Easy Gun gives you such good camo, you can bump into guards and they won't alert to you because you can move far enough away while they're stunned that you go out of the vision. So those are called bump cautions, and it's one of my favorite VE interactions. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy. And we're pre-equipping the stun grenade because in certain fights, when you enter the fight, you can just quick equip the weapon you had on previously. If you try and go in with it equipped, it unequips it. If you unequip it, you can equip it. I hope everyone's following. But yeah, the end fight, the way we do it in VE is extremely punishing, and it's as hard as what we do in European Extreme. Short amount of time, but more execution required.
The green face cam will put it off there.
Yeah, we're going to land 3 stun grenades on top of him. You're probably resetting this, but we'll see.
We'll see.
You're going to stun him 3 times. And if you throw the stun grenade over to the left side, for some reason it stuns him for a really long time. But we're going to need to deal a headshot, dodge one of his shots, and then deal some more headshots.
Ooh.
And because he's been hit by it's because he's been hit by the so the end fires special rounds which deal stamina damage, and obviously if your stamina drops below half, your aim starts to shake and it's impossible to fire with. So basically taking those shots at the start messed him up. I cannot explain to you enough like how tight the timing is. You have to get this in one cycle, otherwise he's going to leave. So this strategy, it was invented super late. I think it was Plywood came up with it, and it's really, really challenging. You shouldn't be able to kill him like this in one cycle, but because of the high damage of the weapons, if you land all your shots perfectly, there's like just enough time. So you have to hit him here, and it has to be a headshot, and then you need to dodge a shot from him and wait for the sound of the weapon cocking, and then you can deal 3 headshots if you're fast enough back to back. I cannot describe to you how it's very challenging to get to grips with.
On top of that, I've been a known saboteur of myself there with putting on the green face camo. He actually spies you a wee bit later. And I'll be honest, I done no practice with the green face camo. Didn't think. I thought, I don't know, maybe the rainbow camo would be enough to keep that going. Right, 3rd time lucky. Let's do it.
Scott's first marathon run. This is feeling the nerves a little bit, getting challenged by the very tactical end fight. But yeah, I love this fight. It's one of the best strategies that's ever been come up with. It's so clever how you're able to just deal enough damage to too quick on that second shot. This is the one. I believe in it. And when he runs off, he also gets iframes as well.
Yeah, I know. Oh, right. That's it. Let's do it. I've wasted enough time.
But yeah, this fight is as hard as anything that we do in European Extreme. That's why I always describe it. And I just love that it exists.
I'm glad some people do.
It is super weird, the interaction as well, that if you throw the stun grenade on the left side, it stuns him for like 13 seconds. But if you throw it straight at him, he's only stunned for a few. Yeah, I think his stun was too far on the
Let's see if I can save it. Nah. Right. Calm down. Calm down.
I've been there, mate. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I've been there.
This is why I gave myself a very generous estimate, to be quite honest, because this fight and the next boss fight are the two where things are most likely to go awry. Now, has it went awry recently? No.
Everything always goes well in practice. It's like the strats never survive first contact with the marathon.
Right. Also hasn't helped, something we haven't explained so far is the horrible aiming in this. There we
Nice,
go.
Good job, dude. I'm not joking. That is a very difficult fight to execute like that. It takes a lot of practice. And yeah, as you were about to say, the Xbox version of the game has this thing called analog acceleration. It's inbuilt into the game. There's no way to get rid of it or turn it off. It's not in the options menu. It's on the hardware level. So it was clearly not tested for this game. Basically, apart from a slight movement on the analog stick, any aiming with it is completely useless. So if you move the stick past this like tiny little ring of movement, it just speeds up to like way faster than your aim should ever go. So it's very difficult to do any first-person aiming sections because of that.
Especially the long-range one, like the end.
And there's no way. You can't fix it with a different controller. You can't fix it changing options. Only Bill Gates can fix it. Phone Bill Gates and ask him to fix the analog acceleration.
Bill Gates, if you're watching, a brisk high five and a packet of Monster Munch to fix it.
Yeah, that's it. Final offer.
I'm sure he needs them, right? Now we're on the biggest run killer here in the entire game. We're climbing a ladder, guys. It's a very long ladder. Somebody's enjoying the ladder behind us.
That would be Paulister, who has abandoned his post and decided to climb a ladder.
I don't blame him. I
Me
don't blame
neither.
him.
This is a. So I've done Metal Gear Solid 3 so many times at UKSG that I've been told I'm not allowed to do it anymore. I'm banned. But every time I did it, Trico would climb the ladder behind me, and it became like a running joke.
I think we just need a little bit more of this music.
Oh, trust me, you tune into me doing this, and this is where the acapellas start coming out. I decided 100% that you guys did not deserve that. My lot, stay about, but yous, I would feel bad. We've still got a full day's worth. I don't want to drive them all away yet. Oh,
It's traditional.
Now the worst part is this is probably the part that we sit through the most in any runs where we're going for personal best, because if we thought that the previous boss was bad enough for potential resets, the next one is literally, the run does not start until the Fury.
Yeah, I'd say as well the Fury is the only boss that can actually kill you on VE, because fire just does so much damage. It doesn't matter how much health you have. Fire does a ridiculous amount of damage. There's also, he can knock you off the ledge, which happens regularly. Yeah, he's ruthless on all difficulties. No matter what you run. If you run Metal Gear Solid 3 on any version, 3DS, I don't care. Like, if you run this game, you will say that the Fury is the hardest boss.
However, there is one thing that Metal Gear Solid has taught me that we'll see just shortly as well, and that is cardboard boxes are fireproof.
Yeah, they are. The fireproof, and also if you're on fire, just get in a cardboard box.
just get in a cardboard
and it'll
box.
Put it out. So we did explain before, but it's worth bearing again why we're running around this mountain in a box. It's just because there's no when Snake walks up an incline, there's like a staggered animation which is slower, but it doesn't happen while you're in the box. So we get this beautiful image.
Now, every guard for a while was going to get rolled. However, this one can be particularly finicky. So for a little bit of safety, I'll try and come first, because if I take an alert here, I have one of two options. Lose it before I get into the next room, or carry on throughout the entire way. Both of which, not favourable.
Yeah, so you can't progress with an alert in the next room, but if you get the alert in a room previous, the door doesn't actually lock as long as you don't lose the alert or have it reapply. So yeah, as I say, you can take an alert in the room before, but you can't take one in the next one.
Just ignore the box, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it.
So yeah, just don't get an alert in here.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention as well, but the fear actually inflicts us with some poison, which you can cure. However, we just don't.
Yeah.
We just don't.
You'll notice there's a lot of things we can do in this run and choose just not to.
No, there is a chance while you're below half stamina, while you're above half stamina, that you can get like a random cure, where your wounds will just cure. Sometimes called like the angel cure, so you don't have to enter the menu. However, it just doesn't tend to happen anymore with like, because the modern strats become so fast for doing the rooms that there's not enough time that you spend above half stamina. So
I think I've seen it once, and that was on an extremely bad run.
it used to happen all the time when we did the old end strat, but when we started killing him in the first room, that cure just stopped happening. So yeah, we're going to be on super low health for the Fury. We can't use first person aiming, so we'll have to use locking on. Or I mean, you can risk third person. It is sort of okay because he's quite a big target.
As long as he stays nice and close.
Yeah, but you can get some really unfortunate spawns. I've lost many a runs to this fella.
Oh.
That's what I'll say. So yeah, the Fury's got flamethrower. His interactions are random, so when you knock him down, he can do various things. I mean, you can plan for him, you can practice as much as you want, and every so often he will still throw you a curveball. So I'll let you listen out for the landing spot.
Yes, thank you. Far close right.
Yeah,
Far right.
Early land. And yeah, we're using the Mosin Nagant, which we picked up from beating the end non-lethally. We get this Mosin Nagant, which is super good. Only takes 6 shots to kill him. Very, very nice. That's a bit clinical. That's exactly what you're looking for. That's the kind of fight that you pray for. And after the end, I'm sure you're feeling super good about that.
Yes, very much so. I thought if I was going to have any troubles, it would have been at the failure, but that is pretty much as perfect a fight as you can really hope for.
Yeah, you got the early land and like the favourable RNG. So when you knock him down, sometimes he can just like blast off and you know, go to the other side of the room, and there's nothing you can do to actually control that. So you're just kind of hoping for that fight.
Now we do still have one very, very testy moment coming up just now. That is all down to just how low the stamina is. Luckily, we do have potential backup strats if this doesn't work. Nothing that's too drastic. Most of it requiring a fake death pill. That guy, he sees someone's falling asleep, doesn't want to see the guy that's running in the rainbow. It's fine. I completely understand.
Yeah, we're in the weapons lab. We're trying to steal a gentleman's clothes now because we want to wear them.
I think I got it.
Yes. Yeah, brilliant. So he's actually trying to get Rykov's attention. That's why he shot the ground there. And now we're just going to capture him.
And you come with me. Now that can go so wrong in so many different ways. I don't know if you guys saw the camera sway we had there. If you're in that first person view for any longer than 2 seconds, good luck hitting the target. That's only a recent addition to my runs. I was doing it the easy way before now.
Very, very clean Rykov pickup. Yeah, we're just going to wear his clothes. We're just going to pretend to be him, really.
Now, I need to apologise for the incentive. This is one of the very few occasions where we do have to unfortunately change. However, I will make it worth your while with the biggest glitch in the entire game. It's very, very difficult,
Yeah, I
obviously.
don't want to hype it up too much, but it's the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
Whee! Now, we thought that one was fun. I have had a recent interaction with the 2 guards that we're just going to come up against, where if you roll into one of them, you have to wait on them actually resetting. But if you get into a box, it's fine. Box can just fly into them, and it's no problem at all.
Yeah, the second one doesn't actually even save much time. We just do it because it looks funny.
It's very funny. Now we're coming up at a point where if we have anything that needs to be said, we can absolutely do it. I have about 6 minutes of downtime here.
Yeah, I don't like this bit. It's absolute
No,
torture.
Alright.
yeah. So if you do have a wee bit of finish a bit of stuff, now would be the time to turn down the thingy and turn it back on when we
Alright.
come back up.
Sounds good. Well, I have a $5 donation, first of all, from Vermilion, saying, shoutouts to Billy and Apache on the couch. MGS3 for life. Thank you for the donation, taking us to just under $200 away from $3,000. Big milestone coming up. Keep those donations coming, of course. And don't forget, when you donate, you can put your donation money towards one of our upcoming incentives. So let me give you a few of them that we have coming up. First of all, we have 2 incentives for Pizza Tower. I've already mentioned the category upgrade to True Ending, which is also $80 away from being met. But we also have a decision on our hands. There is a single enemy in the overworld who doesn't respawn, and killing him results in a gravestone where he appeared. Saving results him joining us in the final level, as well as a Snotty-approved stamp on our file. That's for Pizza Tower. Do we save or do we kill Snotty? Neither of those options has any donations towards it just yet. So if you want to get any money towards that, now is the time to do so. Well, now until the Pizza Tower run early in the morning on Sunday. We also have the Worms 2 incentives open. Currently, the voice pack for that has $10 to it, and they all go towards 007. Scouser, Stifflip, and Yorkshire Tykes have yet to score, so if you have a choice you like there, get the donations in for that. And of course, we also have the incentive to name the team. And many great names have come up already. We have Ian's Brigade, referencing of course Ruffled Bricks, at $5, Club 601 at $10, but in first place with $38, it's Teamimas, referencing Joshimus, who ran earlier in this event. If any of these names seem to be really interesting to you, then go right ahead and donate for them. Otherwise, if you have other ideas, we'll be happy to entertain them, within reason, of course. But yeah, these are the incentives. Back to you guys.
Yeah, so there's 3 major ways to get out of cell. You can use the codec, which the Sorrow, you can see the Sorrow holding up the codec sign for in the cutscene. You can throw upon the floor. What's the other way? Oh, the fake death pill. The major way that most people do it. Yeah, you actually have a fake death pill, which you can dig out of a fork and use that too. But yeah, the codec is the fastest. Like, without a doubt, the fastest.
Now, we stick close to that wall, because if we don't, that guard will hit me with a shield, and as we all have heard a couple of times, time loss. Out with that, this is a pretty easy part. Unfortunately, I would like to apologise to everyone like myself that is a doggo lover, but coming up in this corner, I will have to roll, and there's a chance that the dog, unfortunately, gets into Snake's rather large hitbox. I don't know if the Smash players have got that size of hitbox on Snake, but we definitely do.
Yeah, so the dog is like, is random whether or not it hits you, so you always roll just in case.
Once we've done this, we've got some nice codec call and then breaking some legs, and out with that again. This part's pretty self-explanatory.
In the Japanese version, if you hold triangle after this codec, your game just crashes.
Nice.
So yeah, just be aware of that. It's fine in the American. I think it's the. I honestly, I thought you were getting the achievement for the injury then. I really thought that was going to be one of the achievements.
I have done that plenty of times already. Now that roll might not look very difficult, and it probably doesn't save you too much time, but that is extremely precise, to the point where I won't be trying on any of the other ones because it usually goes awry.
Yeah, there's actually some crazy platforming stuff you can do in Metal Gear Solid 3. It's not really been that explored in the speedrun just because it's so difficult to do, and it's like, it's so imprecise, but Snake can climb huge amounts of terrain with his roll if you roll it just right. So obviously you can get up those like quite big ledges, but there's like mountain sections where he can just roll up the mountain, but it's like, you know, it's pixel perfect. But Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are certainly like secret platformer games.
Absolutely.
Alright, next fight's the Sorrow, and this is one of my favorite strategies. It's only used in when we use time in RTA. Mostly we use IGT for timing the speedruns, but because we're doing it in a marathon, RTA is important. This is the absolute fastest way to kill yourself in the Sorrow fight, and that's what we want to do to end the fight. It's found
Just
by-
wave the white hanky.
Yeah, Major Zero found this. So the handkerchief knocks you out, you just chloroform yourself, and if you pass out underwater, it instantly drains all your health, so much faster than drowning.
Now the funny part is if we're doing any IGT runs, we could theoretically always go to the end of that, which is a good, what, 10?
It's a few minutes, yeah, it's a few minutes at least.
And it never gets counted. However, none of us have got the attention span for that, so we go.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do it in all camos, right? But yeah, none of the time during the Sorrow counts towards the IGT. And no one even realized for years that wasn't like commonly known information until I think 2020. Oh my god, I can't believe you go for those rolls. So if you miss those rolls, you'll lose about 25 seconds.
You are correct. However, I had to make up for the end. So
Yeah.
I went, know what? What's there to lose? Potentially a shotgun to the back coming here. Oh, no, I look as if I might be okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, if you take a certain line, the shotgun guy always misses. But yeah, you just get knocked down by certain weapons. Shotgun just instantly knocks you down.
Now this is the third and final time where we jump in. I'm getting a really long load here. Final time where we will jump in, fling on the green face paint, and the thingy. Now I could have done this when we go into the next room because I do have a menu coming up. However, we do it
Just
now.
get those
because-
extra few seconds of the rainbow camo.
Absolutely. For any sort of camo based runs, if I'm right in saying, the only rules are you have to be in any room that's a thingy. We're just doing it for the fun.
Any room where it affects the outcome. So
Mhm.
basically, you have to have it equipped before you leave the room, but you don't need it in the room.
Yeah.
Details. Just play it however you want.
Absolutely. It's fun.
And this box is great because we actually use the box for its intended purpose instead of all the other times where we used it for a ridiculous purpose they probably didn't intend. Although, when you're on fire and you go into the box, there's like a smoke effect, so it seems like it was intentional that it puts out fire.
Now we want to do the box first before, so that's the final menu. We want to do the box before the weapons because if you don't, you get a nasty little load, don't we?
Yeah, for some reason, if you do the menu in reverse, when you
Let me-
exit the menu, it just takes a long time. Weird quirk of the HD collection. It's got plenty of them. So yeah, there's the boxes are for sneaking into the back of trucks. I mean, do you know when I say it out loud, it sounds so ridiculous.
I don't know. I mean, who doesn't know that if you go into the back of a box, open-ended, people will just carry in anyway.
Yeah, how does he lift it off the box? How does he lift it off the truck?
So you should have done that to get here this morning. You should have just jumped in somebody's motor and somebody would have carried you in and it'd have been fine. Now this is one of the very few rooms, if I'm right in saying, that is actually more difficult on very easy than it is on any other difficulty.
Yeah, because on all the other difficulties you can shoot the wall and cause a caution, but on VE the guards won't hear that shot go off, so you can't cause the caution that gets them all out of the way. So you have to deal with an additional guard. It's just interesting that it actually turned out that this room's harder on this difficulty.
Now any sort of non-guard style people, the engineers in here, the scientists, they don't care about a walking box. So we just go past them and everything's fine. Hopefully I've got my timings right here. He shouldn't turn until I get here. We're good. Up we go. And we come on to probably the easiest of all the boss fights to actually learn, I would say. And another one of the ones that we actually get away with technically doing lethally. And we'll
Yeah.
see why just shortly.
Yeah, it does. It's not counted as a kill by the game, so if you're going for rank 1, you will still see people lethal Vulcan. But yeah, when you slam into the ground, you can just deal headshots to him to do the first half of his health. And then there's a small gap between when he finishes the attack and starts the new one, where there's a gap in his iframes, and you just take him out easy enough with the SVD.
Now we're coming into, again, a little bit of downtime. So if anything's being said, now would be the perfect time for it. If not, we're just going to get to see Snake flex on people.
Oh, well, let me tell you, there's always something to read here. I do have 2 donations from the back of the room. It appears Club 601 is really coming in. We have $5 from Cowboy Knuckles saying, enjoying relaxing and watching this run at nearly 4 a.m. at the venue. Let's go Club 601 Worms. We also have $10 from Broken Hyperlink saying, hello Night Shift. Hope we're all good here at UKSG Green 23. Been loving it so far and can't wait for more runs later on today. It's crazy. It's party. In reference, of course, to a certain Eurovision entry of old. Yeah, more like half a month ago. But yeah, both of those donations going towards Club 601, and that is catching up to the Teamima's name for Worms 2. But yeah, I did notice something happening there.
Yeah, so there is an ancient bug on the Xbox version where the game will crash when it starts Bike Chase. They did actually do a patch for it, and it hasn't been affecting runners. When the game first came to backwards compatibility, you would get a crash there 99% of the time, and so no one ran this version. But they did patch it, and it seems to have just reared its ugly head for one last time. Hopefully that's the last time we ever see that glitch.
Luckily, I do have backup saves for pretty much everything. We might have to redo Volgin, but that's a very, very brief fight.
Easy enough. We'll love seeing the Volgin fight again.
This will be the third time I've said this so far. I have never seen that before. Why did it have to be now?
Yeah, like I say, it was when the game first came to backwards compatibility, everyone instantly jumped on it like, oh my god, it loads so fast, it runs so quickly, it never drops frames, and then there was just this glitch where the game constantly crashed there, so you couldn't finish a run, and there was some madmen out there who would do runs knowing that the game had a 99% of crashing just because it was so much faster.
Main one?
Yeah, main one. They would just be like, oh well, I'll just deal with it and hope it doesn't crash. And so you had like people who had ridiculously fast times, but you couldn't compete with them because you didn't want to like play for hours to get one crash. Missed his head, mate. You got neck shots instead of headshots.
Just shoot him in the back, it's fine.
Yeah.
I luckily only know the backup to that thanks to Tuxedo Percent, to be quite honest. So you've already seen me do this perfectly once anyway, it's fine, you didn't need to see it again.
Easy, hopefully it doesn't crash this time. There we go.
I'm kind of letting cutscenes run a little bit there.
Yeah, that does kind of help it a little bit. Change our camos as well.
Oh yeah. Camo. Oh, I don't know if I've completed it on this one. We have a slight problem.
Trade for a naked. Go naked.
Trade for a naked?
Yeah.
We'll go naked. I will apologise because these were my initial ever runs. I don't even have the green camo or nothing. We're naked now. I have no camos. However, you will get to see Snake just sort of flexing on everyone because I have literally nothing to do here.
Yeah, so when we first started routing VE, we played on the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 3 can't keep its frame rate during this section. So the strat on PS3 was to look at the floor, so you would see runners just look at the floor the entire time, because you don't need to do anything else. It's an auto-scroller, and you're not in any danger. So, unlike Euro even, there's only a few of the guards you actually have to shoot. So there's like even less to do. I like to practice my no-scoping skills during this section.
You do your no-scoping skills. I like, Snake always loves to dance around about these parts.
This is definitely a part where the game's like, I'm going to play the song of my people, and for some reason, this part of the soundtrack is just like 5 times louder than anything else.
Out with this and the helicopter and mountains. If you ever get that caught on you, you rip headphone users.
Yeah, it's definitely just. I mean, I can't even remember playing PS2. I can't remember if it's the same, but it probably is. It seems like they didn't change that much on that front. But yeah, so we went from PS3, and people used to hate it because on the PS3 you just had to look at the floor constantly to try and keep 60 frames because it saved like 20 seconds. But yeah, welcome to the future, backwards compatibility.
I'm now completely seriously RNG manipulating and tranking the Shagohod. Why? Because my fingers sometimes get tired at this point, and it's good to keep them awake.
Yeah, you can deal damage to the Shagohod, and on each difficulty as it goes up, you take less and less damage per rocket. You can deal a maximum of, you can take off 40% of his health before the fight. In the fight, each rocket will do 25% of his health, so you only need to take off 25 before the fight to get like the fastest possible fight. but we do all that damage on the runway, so we don't need to bother menu into the rocket earlier. We can just deal all that damage later during the last opportunity you get to do it. This part, it does actually matter. If you kill the guards, it will actually speed up this area. So she'll get to each section, she won't progress until a certain amount of guards are taken out. You don't. A lot of people think you have to take them all out, but there are a few that you can leave up and it's fine. So it's like a certain number of them. We take them all out anyway because we have rockets and unlimited ammo. Sometimes we hit ourselves with them.
I think I've got everyone that needed done. Yeah, we're good. And now I'll just change back to the easy gun because why not?
Yeah, so the easy gun will keep replenishing your stamina. We still have the leech on us, so we will drain stamina while we don't have it equipped. But we're fine. We're just going to drive out of here now. And this is all scripted.
Mm-hmm. We've got the entire of the next room where Snake will like to dance again because it's not required, and then we actually have some action.
Yeah, see if you can hit the Keratan with the easy gun. I believe in you. See if you can hit the Keratan with the easy gun.
I can't even remember where the Keratan is on
It's
this
on
one.
top of the signpost. When he turns, it's on one of the signposts on the left.
Alright. Nope. Still one more to go. Goes to show how much I actually pay attention to this part. I didn't realise it was the third one across.
You really don't. Once you've done it a few times, that's it. You can switch off to it. But this part of the game was so well received. Everyone loved auto-scrolling bike sections so much that they brought it back in the next game too, and made it even longer. And everybody cheered.
I'm either completely missed it or drawing a blank.
No, it's still coming up. It's either that one or the one after.
Is that one?
Yeah. Can he get the frog? He's under pressure.
And this is why in the All Keratans run, they use RPGs.
Yeah.
That's not even the worst one out of a lot of them. Hellfrog still to come up. Should we try and get Hellfrog?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can.
Should we try and no-scope Hellfrog?
Yeah, I love trying to no-scope the frogs. It's my favourite thing to do during the bike chase. You have to make your own fun during the bike chase.
Usually this is the second part of bike chases where I go stretch, relieve myself. I don't know. Just anything that isn't sit in front of the PC and pray.
So during this section, you can deal damage to the Shacklehard, and we're just trying to take off 25% of his health, and it's pretty straightforward to do. It's hard to mess up.
However, I always go to Hellgate just because usually you've got far more than enough time. Too many times.
So when you shoot many rockets, for some reason the amount of damage builds up, so eventually it's like spreads to the treads. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but basically if you fire too fast, he'll drop back and you can't actually hit him. But we've done plenty of damage here, like that's more than enough.
Yeah.
You can always max damage him pretty much. You don't need to, but you just do it anyway.
You just do it so that you know that you've got it there, more than anything else. This is usually where my chat just span nothing other than you're wasting your ammo, didn't feel a thing, and...
something really funny I found is like, after GDQ, someone linked me the Japanese chat on the restream, and they all spam it as well, so they all spam the lines. I just thought that was really cool.
I think we should no-scope this as well, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. At some point, all the Metal Gear speedrunners went like MLG with this game, started joining FaZe Clan, and everyone became obsessed with no-scoping. You always wait for the Shacklehard to drive for the McDonald's M, and then you know it's time to shoot him. You'll never be able to unsee it as anything else now.
I haven't seen it as that up until now.
So yeah, the Shacklehard fight proper. We're trying to get Eva to stick behind him so we can just deal all 3 shots. And this looks good so far. So every time it stops sparking, you can deal damage to it again. And so we want to hit the tread. Yep, we're right behind him. It's the perfect Shacklehard loop. That's the fastest way to do the fight. Good luck with Volgin 2. Don't clap yet, he's back! So you're going to deal 1 to the body, and if you time it right, you can deal another to the head. Perfect.
Oh.
Absolutely perfect. The timing is quite strict on that.
Alright, let's get
I know you all enjoyed that bike chase just a moment ago, so we brought it
Yeah.
back just for you all one
And,
more time.
If it's any of any importance, we do even less in this one.
Yeah. So straight up, you don't need to do anything. It's an auto scroller.
Do we do the PS3 strats?
Yeah.
There you go. There's PS3
now,
strats.
now it looks like a PlayStation 3 run. So yeah, there's 3 bikes chasing you. The game can only keep 3 on screen at one time. If you shoot them, they'll just come back. They have different spots that they'll spawn in. They don't deal that much damage to you, and on max stamina you regenerate health so fast anyway that it's not a worry. Another concern that we had on the PS3 was the rocket guard shooting you, because it'll slow down the game so much. But this game doesn't care about rocket launchers. Like, you can fire 5 rockets and it still won't slow down. So yeah, I just like to see how many guards I can take out with no scopes.
Man, at this point, I could probably take a moment and read a few things
Oh,
out.
you absolutely
certainly can, Paul. Go for it, mate.
Absolutely. How much time do I have for that?
As much as you like.
All right. Well, let's read a few things out. So, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. We are a 2-day speedrunning marathon, and we're coming to you live from Glasgow, Scotland. We are raising money to support Crisis, the charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. Again, from our intermission videos, you've seen some specific individuals who were able to find a job and a house thanks to Crisis. 90% of your donations will be going towards them, and 10% will be going to UKSG, so we can get more events, more speedruns, and of course more stuff for you to enjoy. Let me tell you a little bit more about what Crisis does in their own words. Every year, we work side by side with thousands of homeless people to help them rebuild their lives and leave homelessness behind for good. Through our pioneering research into the causes and consequences of homelessness and the solutions to it, we know what it will take to end it. Together with others who share our resolve, we bring our knowledge, experience, and determination to campaign for the changes that will solve the homelessness crisis once and for all. So yeah, thank you all for donating and helping us reach $2,815 for this amazing cause. If that doesn't entice you too much, well, let me tell you, we have some prizes on offer. So if you donate a certain amount, either in one donation or over a sum of multiple donations, you'll be in with a chance to win a bunch of prizes. Right now on offer, we have a couple pieces of Perler art. One is an iron brew can for a $30 donation minimum, and a supersonic transformation sprite Perler for $25. So donate up to $30 and you'll be in the draw for both of those. If you can't donate that much, that's not to worry. We also have a signed Atari 2600 Video Olympics cartridge for $15 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Original Soundtrack for $20. So get your donations in and you might get yourself some nice stuff to take home with. I'm sure that's really exciting. And of course, I don't think I need to mention it again. We are $185 away from 3,000, and there's a bunch of incentives that could very well be met between now and then. So, if you want to help us reach a milestone and get some extra content over here, donate now and also dedicate some of that donation money towards the incentives that we have on offer. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to say anything. I'll pass it back to you.
I just want to say again, thank you for having me and letting me be part of the cause. Always good to do. For those that are maybe a little bit more unfortunate, always really nice to help.
Absolutely, and I'm sure this game has given you quite the baptism of fire here.
Absolutely. To be fair, you know what? There were 2 places in this run that I thought things were going to go wrong in. It wasn't the places it did, but the fact that I managed to get some of the other places down makes me pretty happy. The end is very much execution perfect almost, but the fear can just be nasty, and the the Shago Horde fight can just be horrible as well. I think we can both agree on that one.
Yeah, I think if you went to any speedrunner and said, I went to my first marathon and my game crashed and I got stuck on one of the bosses, they'd be like, yeah, it'd be like that.
Luckily, it is 4 o'clock in the morning, so the caring receptors not really awake at this time.
Hey, night shift is a whole different vibe. If you've been to UKSG and you've never come along to night shift, you're missing out. It's almost like a different event at times.
Let me have some more.
Now we
Night
feed
shift.
Eva, and on top of that, heal Eva. It's very precise, I believe, on how much damage she gets before she starts actually slowing down at this part, because like all other Metal Gear Solid games, we have a look, follow me part.
Yeah, there was one in Metal Gear Solid 2 and people enjoyed it so much they said, let's do it again.
Unfortunately, we don't have any food zips or that can help us with this part.
Yeah, no, we're basically stuck with Eva's walking speed and her. It's like she's hard coded to go the worst, slowest path possible. She's like the anti-speedrunner.
Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either walk really slowly and just try and make sure it doesn't catch up, or what I've intended to start doing, which is just move a little bit forward and just make sure she's continuously going, because otherwise she can just stop and you can run about 3/4 of the way there and not realise that you've missed her, because sometimes she just decides that she wants to stop.
Yeah, the further away from her you are, the worst route she'll take, and if she gets too close to you, she'll just stop. So yeah, you just constantly have to call her and like judge how far away from her you are.
She's behaved herself so far. However, the biggest test is still to come. You can see in the background there are guards following us pretty closely, but your timing isn't. I don't think I've ever been caught with them out with my very horrible practice earlier on today. And that was for my own daft mistakes.
It never ceases to amaze me how many conversations I've had about this game where people are like, I hated that escort section in Metal Gear Solid 3, it's so long, and it's 2 rooms, and you can just picture them, like they definitely crawled the entire time.
Do this on box percent and then come back to me and tell me that it was too long. For those that haven't been graced with watching a box percent, you get in the box, Eva just doesn't even know you're there, calls you an idiot, and then runs into every single guard. And if Eva runs into a guard, you unfortunately have to wait until they're all dead or the alert's over. Not great.
What's fantastic about Eva compared to Emma is if you get caught, she just whips out a pistol and starts taking out all the guards.
Oh, she
fantastic.
Pretty sure she one-taps every single one of them.
Yeah. It's like brutal the way she like attacks guards when you get an alert.
Now we've got 2 more guards to track here, and then we have the boss. Not the one that we had earlier though. This is the actual boss,
the boss
at the end. Not the end at the boss.
So I always stress when people roll off that ledge because there is a glitch where Eva will just walk back to the start of the level. It loses about 5 minutes, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It just sometimes happens.
And the infamous tree. Let's stand next to this tree and admire this tree, because if we don't admire this tree, Eva decides that it's funnier to go around the other side and waste you 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, if you get too far away, she'll just walk all the way around those trees. Like I say, she's the anti-speedrunner. She runs the most sub-optimal route possible.
Slow percent. Slow percent.
Alright, time for the final boss of the run. And so she will attack you and you can repel her when the exclamation mark appears above her head. Once she's in this state, we'll do 2 tranks to the head, throw her to the ground, throw a stun grenade high up into the air so it goes off just as she stands up. And that will stun her in the standing up position. That means we can deliver 2 headshots again. And CQC her to the ground. Same again. Throw the nade. Look away so we don't get stunned. And if you time it just perfectly, very, very nice. Clean fight, mate. Very clean
Now,
fight.
unfortunately, because this was the initial save, we do have to sit behind whilst we grab the snake camo. This is why we actually run this on New Game Plus normally, specifically for this part here, so you don't have it. But that went about as well as I could have wanted it to.
Excellent, mate.
So we've got a couple of cutscenes left. I believe timing ends on
Last shot of the revolver.
yeah, last shot of the revolver. So you'll have a 6 count for that. Now we sit through probably the saddest cutscene in the entire of this game, without a doubt. And we'll see why shortly. If we've got people in chat, a couple of 07s round about the next sort of 20 seconds would be nice. I for some reason have no.
I have no audio either. Is that everyone?
I've got the music. I don't have any of the words.
Are the voice lines missing for everyone else? I've never seen this before.
It's okay, we have an emergency narrator coming in. Kill me now! Do it!
I'll do Snake if you...
Guess I should really do the timer, shouldn't I?
There's only room for one boss
There's only room for one boss.
and one snake. Now, a couple more Mashina cutscenes. Always pick the middle revolver.
The middle.
Yeah, the middle revolver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and time. Oh. Thank God for the generous thing there. So, as I've said a few times already, thank you very much for Apache for being the co-commentator. It made it really easy just to relax, especially when it was going quite badly. And thank you again to UKSG. That was Metal Gear Solid 3, very easy. And if you're looking to run it and you've got an Xbox Series X and lucky enough to have the thingy, jump on. It's a lovely easy run.
Yeah, there's a tutorial. It's a great run to pick up. It's really straightforward, but huge kill ceiling, and yeah, you'll love it. There's a tutorial. Check the tutorial out. Watch it. Yeah, GG's, mate.
Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to leave you both here with this donation, $20 from Jack of Hearts. They're quite angry. They're going, excuse me, I played this game and there are 0 snakes eaten during the run. -3 out of 10, not solid at all. Jokes aside, been a fantastic event so far. Let's get Ruffled Bricks that haircut. Now, unfortunately, Jack did put that donation towards the 007 voice pack for Worms 2, so with an approach like that, we're not going to get that haircut. We're going to get other stuff. But regardless, thank you all for your donations. Thank you, Jack, for the $20. But if you there watching the stream right now want to help Ruffled Bricks get that haircut, don't forget to put your donations towards that incentive. We are $400 away from getting that met, so I'm sure that's going to be a very fun time. Now, not going to waste any more time. We're going to head into a quick intermission, and after that, the Ginger Chris will be doing a Metroid Prime randomizer. Randos are always fun, so stick around for that.